Hello, children. Welcome back. Our story today is all about the giraffe and the hamsters. Story time with Miss RR. Are you ready? Ginger the giraffe. Ginger the giraffe uses her long neck to save the other animals from the blazing forest fire. Follow them and their jungle pets as they all meet with yet another adventure. Once upon a time, Ginger lived in Kenya, a country in Africa. Like all giraffes, Ginger had a long neck and long legs. Because she was so tall, she was able to eat food from the very tops of the trees in the savannah. The savannah in Africa is an area with lots of grass and some trees. Sometimes a savannah is called grasslands. The other animals like zebras and antelopes could not reach where Ginger could reach. But Ginger always found food. She loved the leaves and the new buds of the trees. One day, Ginger was busy eating her favorite leaves along with some other giraffes. It was a bright sunny day, and there was not a cloud in the sky. It had not rained for a long time, so the grass was very dry. She heard a noise down at the bottom of her extra long legs. It was her friend, Mickey. The monkey Mickey was trying to say something, but Ginger couldn't understand what he was saying. He looked very tired. "What's wrong?" asked Ginger. Ginger was a very kind giraffe and wanted to help. Ginger was also a smart giraffe. She knew what was wrong. Mickey couldn't find anything to eat, and he was very hungry. Ginger nibbled some fresh, tender leaves and buds from the top of the tree where she was eating. She dropped some of the leaves and buds to the ground near where Mickey was. Then she nudged him a little with the hoof at the bottom of one of her very long legs. "Wake up, Mickey," said Ginger. "I've found something for you to eat." Slowly Mickey sat up and ate a little. After a while, when Mickey was feeling better, Ginger asked him, "What happened, Mickey? Why are you so hungry? Why can't you find anything to eat?" Mickey said, "It hasn't rained for so long. Now there's no more food." "That's not good," said Ginger. "What's happening with the other animals?" "No one knows what to do," answered Mickey. "All the zebras and the antelopes and the elephants are getting worried about the dry grass. Some of them are thinking about leaving the savannah, trying to reach the jungle." "That's a long trip," said Ginger. "Are you going to go with them?" "I don't know," answered Mickey. "What do you think we should do?" Ginger thought for a while, and then suddenly she had a good idea. "We should go talk to Leo the lion. He is the smartest animal in the savannah." Mickey was too hard to walk, so Ginger invited him to ride on her back. "Hold on, hold on tight to my neck," said Ginger. "There's a lot to hold on to," joked Mickey. Ginger laughed. "You're right, I've got the longest neck in Africa." So they started their journey across to the other side of the savannah to look for Leo. Ginger and Mickey were in luck. Leo was sitting up on the rock and he was really easy to see as they walked through the grass. "Hi, Leo!" they both shouted. Leo had been napping and was a little grumpy when they woke him up, but he was polite and said, "Hello, Ginger and Mickey. Why did you walk the whole way across the savannah just to wake me up?" But he was joking. He had a smile on his face. "Mickey says that there is no food left on the savannah because it's been so dry," said Ginger. "Do you have any ideas?" Leo thought for a while. He said, "There's nothing we can do about the rain. It will come soon, but we can't be sure when it will arrive. When the rain comes, all the plants will grow again and there will be lots of food for everybody." He thought a little longer. "The only thing I can think of is for everyone to move closer to the forest," he continued. "There will be more things to eat there, but I know it's a long trip and it will not be very easy. It might take days to get there." All of the animals were already, but Ginger, Mickey, and Mickey looked at each other and then looked back at Leo. "Thank you, Leo," said Ginger. "It's probably best if they all try to get closer to the jungle." They said goodbye and then walked back across the savannah. Now, they needed to rather all the animals together to start the long journey. Ginger didn't need to go along because she had plenty of food in their high trees, but she was a good friend and wanted to help as much as she could. They walked towards her favorite trees, and guess what she and Mickey saw? All of the animals were already gathered there and waiting for Ginger and Mickey. "Why are you all here?" asked Ginger. "Edie, the eagle, told us that you're taking us to the edge of the jungle," said one of the zebras. "How did he know?" asked Mickey. "He heard you talking with Leo," said one of the antelopes. "So, you've all decided to try walk together to the jungle?" asked Ginger. "Yes," they all answered. "If you'll help us to get there," added one of the elephants. "Of course I help," said Ginger. "I'm your friend." So they started on their big journey across the savannah to the jungle. The sun was so hot, and there was not food and no place to get a drink of water. And then they heard it. It was thunder. Thunder! They all shouted. Thunder was very scary to the animals of the savannah. Can you guess why? Fire! Sometimes the lightning hits the dry grass and the whole savannah catches fire. Then everyone was to run. And that is exactly what happened. Fire! They shouted. They could smell it, and now they could see it. The fire was coming towards them. Ginger had to think fast because she was so tall she could see farther than any of the other animals. She stretched her long neck up as far as she could. Now she could see a place where there was no fire. Quick, she said. Everyone run this way. All of the animals followed her and ran as fast as they could. Soon they were out of danger. They stopped and gathered together one more time. Is everyone here? Ginger asked. She wanted to make sure they were all safe. All of the animals looked around. They were all there. And then the most wonderful thing happened. I felt a drop, said a zebra. Me too, said an antelope. It was rain. Finally, everyone was very happy. It started to rain a little more and then a little more. The rain put out the fire so they didn't have to run, and the rain filled their watering holes and made the plants grow around again. So they didn't have to make that long trip to the edge of the jungle. Everyone would soon have enough food and water. So Ginger, the giraffe, went back to her favorite tree and continued to munch on the leaves and buds. That is the end of our Ginger the giraffe story. Next up, it's all about the hamsters. The sunny meadows woodland school. The class took a little train and went deep into the woods on their first school trip, but things didn't go as planned, and a whirlwind of adventure unfolds in this wonderful free bedtime storybook online. The sun shone brightly over the meadow as Class 1 of Sunny Meadows Woodland School set off for their first trip to the Shadow Woods. Everyone was excited to be going on the adventure that they had been talking about for weeks. Their teacher, Miss Squirrel, had promised a trip to remember, and the whole class now skipped excitedly through the meadow. Well, nearly all of the class, alone at the back of the group, waddled Hank. Hank was a hedgehog who found it difficult to make friends. He always felt like the outsider. The others in the class, especially Matilda Mouse, kept away from Hank because they thought him odd. His Hank was not really looking forward to the day. The journey to the Shadow Woods was longer than expected because Mr. Mall's tunnel train was broken. In that, Mr. Mall was there waving them off before he got back to work. This just made Miss Squirrel happier, though, as she could talk to the children about all the wonderful flowers that filled Sunny Meadow. There was color everywhere. It looked as if a rainbow had crashed into the field. Soon, though, the shadow meadows were upon them, and something that looked small from far away suddenly grew very large before them. Each member of the class gave a slow grip. Got Matilda Mouse, Rachel Rabbit, Wendy Weasel, and Ralph Raccoon. The biggest gulp came from Honk. He was nervous enough before they got to the woods and didn't have a friend to hold on to. Matilda pretended to be brave, however, and ran on ahead. Then Matilda ran on ahead, compelling her friends to join her. Miss Squirrel was not happy about that, and so she shouted for Matilda to come back. Then off she chased after her. Soon the whole class followed, and before they knew it, they were right in the middle of the woods. Now, instead, all bright sunshine on only shadows scattered before them. The class stopped, their little mouths open in awe and wonder. Miss Squirrel was still chasing Matilda, though, and did not notice that she had left the little ones behind. Rachel Rabbit, Wendy Weasel, and Ralph Raccoon all held pose as she looked around them. Three very small friends, and Hank, the only noise now in the woods was silence. Suddenly, everyone got a fright as behind them Matilda Mouse jumped from behind a berry bush and shouted "Boo!" as loudly as she could. After they all had stopped shaking, her friends laughed, all except Hank. "Silly Hank," said Matilda, "you are just no fun." However, before Hank could reply, another noise made everyone turn around. This time, though there was no boo of surprise and no laughter afterwards, because there before the class was a very large and very hungry snake, his magical eyes twinkling with delight as his tongue spiked forward. Mmm, lunchtime, said the snake. It was at this point that the class realized that Miss Squirrel had not returned from chasing Matilda. The class was alone. Squeaks of fight squeezed out of the little animals' mouths. Matilda and her friends all hugged each other, fearing that this was the end. Suddenly, though Hank was scared no more, he found a way to save the class. He knew just what he had to do. "Quick, everyone down this hall!" he shouted as he pointed to a hole under a hanging chestnut tree. The animals stared at him and then jumped down the hall. Hank followed only to be stopped by Matilda, who looked here very hungry, very angry. Hank, we are trapped now, you foolish dog. But before she could add to her insult, Hank jumped up and flipped himself into a ball. Next, he rolled towards the mouth of the hole and blocked it with his pointy, sharp spikes. There would be no lunch for the snake today. Later, back at school, Miss Squirrel was telling the head teacher, Mr. All, about what had happened, and now and how the snake had fled Hank's pointy spikes. After the snake had slithered away, the class had quickly returned to school, and each one had thanked their new friend Hank. Matilda gave him a big hug and apologized for what she had called him before. Hank was not odd. He was a hero and her new best friend. Hank, who was still unused to lots of attention, turned pink and popped into a ball of all his new friends cheered him. That's the story about the Hank, the hedgehog. Do you know the lesson for this from this storyteller story our story today? In our previous story about the giraffe, she is a very helpful friend. We are going to this is the lesson that we know that this is the lesson about the giraffe, a friendly giraffe that she helped her friend to get some foods even in the difficult days. And in the Sunny Meadows Woodland School, a school trip, it's the lesson here is don't mock or don't judge one of your friends if she's or she or he is quiet or didn't join your company because one of them they're going to help you in times of trouble, okay, in times of trouble. So this story is all about the friendship. Okay, thank you so much for dropping in my live. Thank you. Thank you, the beat that's music, and the other children who are listening right now. You just fall asleep. Okay, thank you so much, everyone. This is Miss RR saying thank you for watching my live storytelling. Bye bye.